a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown, Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hits. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck athletics.
Oregon is coming up on the first scrimmage of fall camp. That is on the horizon on Saturday. The Ducks will take an off day tomorrow, back on the practice field today. I'm Joey Mack. Thanks for joining us. We heard from Dan Lanning yesterday. We've got that for you. Also, Drew Mehringer, Oregon tight ends coach, co-offensive coordinator, Jamari Johnson on why he chose Oregon. The Duck tight end with some positive things to say about one Kenyon Sadiq as well. Ify Obidu also talking about the competition in the secondary and a whole slew of interviews for you today. However, we begin with the fact that the Oregon Athletic Department is 1-0 to start the season. That's right, exhibition yesterday at Oregon State for the Duck soccer team, and Oregon soccer won 3-1. Outstanding work by Oregon soccer, starting 1-0 against Oregon State. I got to tell you, like, the exhibitions are always fun because you never know what you're going to get, right? Like, wow, okay, what is this going to be? You know, nerves? Is it going to be a team that comes out and just fires on all cylinders? And it sounds like things went well. The soccer offices are across from the studio, and it sounds like Tracy Joyner and her staff were pretty happy with the performance against Oregon State. A 3-1 win in the exhibition, and it now sets up an exhibition against Idaho at Pape Field on Friday, noon. Take that long lunch, come out to Pape Field, exhibition against Idaho. Should be fun on Friday. That's cool, though. Ducks are 1-0 this season. Congratulations to Oregon soccer on a 1-0 start to the campaign. Now, yes, it's an exhibition, so you won't see that 1-0 showing up on the schedule if you go to the website. I know. But still in our hearts, it is a 1-0 start to the athletic season. That's cool. Meanwhile, Oregon football tomorrow will be debuting a new behind-the-scenes series discussing fall camp. It's coming August 7th. That is tomorrow. It is aptly named Under Construction this year. Little preview for you.
Well, the first major step towards the University of Oregon's football facility expansion is beginning to take shape.
The facilities are incredible out there.
Yeah,
They really top-notch.
Right now, we're building a brand new facility outside my office.
If you take a drive down Leo Harris Parkway in Eugene anytime soon, you will see the future taking shape.
I want you to think about the last 2 months and how you've used them. Have you made an unbelievable commitment to being the best version of yourself? Starts with a foundation.
Think deep about what is your why. People think I couldn't do it. I mean, like I tell people I want to go play somewhere and they just laugh.
I wouldn't want to be a part of any other program than here. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why I chose this family. At the end of the day, I'll go to work each and every one of you guys right in front of my face.
It's hard. It is an intense and exhausting process that takes a total commitment. What do I got to do to be the lead right now?
Before you know it, the season's going to be here.
Under construction 2025 fall camp. Now with the construction going on around the Oregon Athletics Autzen Complex, Leo Harris Parkway literally has a new shape now. Parking lot of the Mashofsky Center is being paved, and where the practice fields used to sit, new football facility taking shape. Hence, under construction. There's a lot of construction going on, not just on the team side, but on the facilities side. Looking forward to seeing some of the behind the scenes. It's special being at practice. Believe me, I never take it for granted getting to go to practice and just be around the team, being around all the teams here that I get the chance to see. And, it's cool even then to hear in that video and in that audio you just heard, Kenyon Sadiq was the one saying, my why is that, all these people told me that I couldn't do it, and now here he is. And I thought that was great, especially because of what you're going to hear from Jamari Johnson coming up later on today's show, and what a fellow tight end thinks about another tight end in his group. Jamari Johnson, Kenyon Sadiq, a few guys that may make big impacts for the Ducks this season. On that note, Dan Lanning met with the media after practice last night, breaking down where the Ducks are in fall camp. Oregon football head coach Dan Lanning, brought to you by the White Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Dan Lanning with fall camp updates.
Some real positives so far through fall camp. Really competitive practice today. Finished out with some red area. Offense got the upper hand today in that and goal line. Some explosive plays showing up. Haven't seen a lot of those so far through fall camp. Saw some today, which is a real positive. Defense doing a great job attacking the ball.
If he's someone who garnered a lot of buzz in the spring and now going into fall too, what have you seen from him as far as development from last year to this year? More than anything, understanding, right? Knowing what he's going to do, how he needs to be able to execute on the field, what his job is. But yeah, he has really special traits. He could be a special player for us.
Yeah, beyond Kenyon Sadiq, what do you like about the tight end room, and what do you think about how the other guys have been progressing this fall?
Yeah, really pleased with the progress. So obviously Roger was a guy that could help us last year, and then was injured, but he's come really well back from that injury. And Jamari's a guy that has experience at other places, and we recruited out of high school. We're really high on him as a player, and he's done really well so far in fall camp. And then several other guys there that are really coming along. So like that group.
Given today's ruling regarding Dalen, how does that impact what reps will be in the secondary for the next 6 days, let alone the couple of weeks thereafter?
Yeah, we have a plan in place, right? We'll adjust.
Can you expand a little bit more on Jamari and sort of what he brings to the table for you guys and how important it was to add a veteran guy like that?
Yeah, it was more about just adding a player that we thought added value, and Jamari certainly adds value. He's got length. He's big body, catches the ball really well. I think there's a pickup that he has to continue to figure out, like what are we doing in the offense, and as he picks that up, he takes great steps forward. But his size, athleticism is unique for that position.
The video team announced a new documentary series for this fall camp. I'm curious what you learned from that process last year that you liked about promoting the program, and what led you to do it again this year.
Yeah, I think, we have unbelievable fans. There's players that we're trying to attract to this program. I think it gives them an inside glimpse at, the day-to-day operation, what we do here, what it looks like. So I think it's just a great way to share, what's Oregon football about, with other people. And then there's some great players and great people on our team, right, that their story needs to be shared, right, and gives an opportunity to share those stories.
It's certainly rare, but not unheard of for safeties to go in the first or second round, Dan, as you know, and as somebody who's coached or recruited several of the guys who have over the last 10 years. If Dylan's going to put himself in that position in December or January to be in that position to where it's not even a conversation, what does he have to do in your mind to be the next one of those guys?
December, January, and the NFL draft are so far from my mind. So far from my mind. Today, we got to get better, right? And Dylan's got to continue to get better. Is Dylan a special athlete, special talent? Absolutely. But none of us are thinking about the NFL draft right now, himself included.
You mentioned the deep shots, but Will talked about the quarterback room and Dante just, learning how to take what the defense is giving them. Just what have you seen from that in fall camp so far, and how do you feel like they're progressing in that mindset? Yeah, some of our explosives today weren't necessarily shots down the field, right? Some of those explosives today were explosive runs, right? And that's credit to the O-line and the backs doing a great job, but taking advantage of opportunities, right? Every defense has a strength, every defense has a weakness, same with offense, right? And, when you really can become a separator is when things are equal, right? When they have a good call, you have a good call, and it's a one-on-one matchup, who's going to go win that matchup, right? So all those things add up, timing, getting in a rhythm, they all matter when it comes to explosive plays.
A couple of third-year defenders we saw quite a bit in the spring, but we saw also changes in body types for both Ashton Porter and Blake Purchase, kind of in opposite directions. You talk about development, Dan, just what went into Porter adding the weight to where?
First thing I'd say is, don't put too much stock in what we print is for your weights, right? Because that's for you guys, not necessarily for us. But both those guys, right? I remember we used to say Tez Johnson weighed a lot more than he did. I think you guys at some point figured that out, right? So we print what we want, right? It's not necessarily the truth, right? So surprise, okay? But Ashton, what has he done, man? That guy's worked his tail off and done an unbelievable job of working extremely hard to become a a guy that can make an impact for us, knowing his job, his assignment. And I think he would tell you that early on in his career, it took him a while to learn what he had to be able to do here. His body's gotten stronger, right? He's become a dynamic player that can play at multiple positions for us. Same thing with Blake. Right, Blake came in with great athleticism, but his strength has really improved. His understanding of the system has really improved, and he's put himself in a position where he's going to have a role for us, and a big role at that.
Posh, I think after practice 1 or practice 2, mentioned that he got into the defensive line. He wanted to see more competition out of them. Just how do you feel like that's translated here going into week 2?
Good and bad, right? I think we've seen some moments where it was really positive. Like I said today, it probably felt like it was an offensive win, which I know you guys will write a ton of stories about, right? But like ultimately, there's been some really good and some really bad. And what you want in fall camp is competition. There's been some really good competition. You know, what's important is for these guys not to read the press clippings and really focus on what do they have to do to improve. And we've done a better job with gap control. We've done a better job with movement. So there's been some real positive there. We're creating havoc for the quarterback, which is, you know, a real positive with those guys.
Kind of building off of that, you said, you know, competition is a big word that's been used all the first week of fall camp. But at what point do you look for maybe some more consistency now that you got a good amount of practices to kind of start to build that depth chart?
Yeah, probably after our second scrimmage. You still have plenty of time before our first game. So we'll have a scrimmage this weekend. We'll have a scrimmage that next weekend. As we go into that second scrimmage, there'll be some pieces of the puzzle we want, you know, in certain spots. But there's still a lot of competition to be had, and still a lot of guys we got to evaluate where they're at from a winning football standpoint.
You got to see Theron during the spring, albeit 2 less practices than everyone else, but after another week of it and north of 20 practices now, what does he bring to the secondary as a veteran guy who was an All-Big Ten guy last year? Yeah, intelligence. I think he's a really instinctual player. He's sticky at the top. Right at the top of routes, you know, he's going to be engaged, but, you know, made an outstanding play today in practice, you know, where he was able to get out and go make a play on the ball, which, you know, that's what you want. You want guys with ball skills. Got to go back and look at the film and see if he's in the proper position, but production matters. And he's, again, an intelligent player that's able to be tight in coverage.
Duck football head coach Dan Lanning meeting with the media, talking there a little bit more about Theron Johnson, one of the new faces in the secondary. Figure to have a lot of competition there. Ify Obidu, we're going to hear from him coming up. A player who has all the talent. You just heard that from Coach Lanning as well. Zeroing in on that secondary as we continue today. And when we return, though, let's talk some tight ends with Drew Mehringer here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Just heard from Dan Lanning. Now we're going to talk about a little bit about tight ends. Drew Mehringer, co-offensive coordinator. We'll hear from him in a moment, as well as Jamari Johnson, new addition to the tight end room. That's a spot where you think Kenyon Sadiq's going to be pretty darn good. I think most of the country agrees that Kenyon Sadiq's going to be pretty darn good. Before we hear from Drew Mehringer, though, the Junior Duck Club is back for another year. This year's membership package includes a T-shirt, a lanyard, and a credential, a welcome postcard, some Toyota sunglasses and keychain, also a Duck Store pennant and decal. The Junior Duck Club, more details, goducks.com. Search for Junior Duck Club, only $35, and a great way to get all of your favorite little ducks involved here around Oregon athletics. Some pretty good benefits coming from the Junior Duck Club. Drew Mehringer, Oregon's tight end coach and co-offensive coordinator, some of his thoughts on fall camp.
Sure, it looked like Jamari's down to the lowest he's been in several years in terms of weight-wise. How much has that been by design to have him be more than a H or A? And if you have any insight into what the body composition change was to go along with the weight change?
I think that was loud. I think Jamari is obviously a gigantic human being. I think when he was in high school, he was 265, somewhere in there, and I think he would tell you he was too big at that time, and some of that's just being immature and undisciplined. And he's done a really, really good job changing his body composition. Does he still have some room to grow, like in that department, right? Could he put on more weight if he wanted to? Yeah, I think that he could, but I think he's trying to do it the right way. We're trying to do it the right way. I think it's definitively helped him become more agile, more athletic out there on the field. You can see he runs really, really well. He changes direction well. So I've been excited for it. I think you never kind of know with a player exactly what their body composition should be, right? It's kind of a working process. And so we knew that his body fat percentage needed to go down, and we knew that his muscle mass needed to go up. I mean, that part's easy to figure out. And so we'll see where it goes from here. Do I think he's going to be at this weight for the entirety of his career? Probably not, but has it been good for him right now? Yeah, I think so. And credit to him, like he's worked really hard at it. Brenna and Wilson Love and those guys have done a really good job. He's stuck to the plan, as well as a redshirt sophomore in college can do.
Back right, Brett.
Coach, obviously, the tight end game for Oregon has been just so important over the last couple of years, obviously with, T. Ferg and Patrick and the list goes on. But with obviously Kenyon kind of the star and the focal point, how important is it to get the next group ready for what's to come and guys like AJ and maybe Roger that are maybe potentially trying to look to get some more reps this season?
I think that any organization has an obligation to continue to develop their young players. You didn't bring them here, so they could be emergency situations or Band-Aid situations for the upcoming season. I think that we have a really great room in there. I think we have a really talented room, Kenyon. Kenyon's in year 3. I thought, obviously, like T. Ferg had a great career here. It seems like he's doing well in LA, and then Patrick is seemingly doing really well in Jacksonville. I think for a lot of those guys, you look at that and you're like, man, how long is it going to take me to get my chance, right? And then you see like Patrick Herbert had to sit for 2 seasons for injury, right? And then even when he came back his 3rd season, he was really our 4th tight end in the game. Then he played really, really well, I thought, for us for his last 2 seasons. So we're not, in recruiting and in my room, we're not telling these guys, hey, you got to wait your turn. We're saying, hey, if you're good enough, you're old enough, right? But you got to go out and earn it. And guys like Kenyon have worked really hard for 2 seasons for this opportunity. Roger played really well for us as a freshman last year. So if you're a freshman that can get out there and play, great. You're, Jamari, you're a transfer, get in there and mix it up. And so guys like AJ Cade, Zach Grace, Zach played in a bunch of games for us this past year. Vander's coming along, right? Been really excited about it. They're a really, really good group. They're great to coach. Thankful for the leadership that we've had in that room from Terrence and Patrick, and it's kind of carrying over. Kenyon's doing a really good job in that room, kind of weirdly, the young guy's the old head, down in that room. So it's been fun. They're very supportive of each other. They push each other. They coach each other pretty hard. Sometimes it doesn't leave a whole lot of room for me in there at times, which is great. It's a good problem to have. So I'm excited about where those guys are at. I think that we've got a really big room right now. And I think we've got a very talented room, right? And it's on us as coaches, right, to continue to push them to grow. But feel great about where we're at from the youth and the depth that we have there.
On the right, Chris.
Yeah, Roger had some nice moments on the field last year before he got hurt. Where have you seen improvement from him this fall?
I think that I was a person that had 3 knee surgeries, and your first time coming back and playing live football, there's a bit of like a tentative feeling, right? Like, is this going to hurt, right? Is this going to happen again? And the cool thing about Roger is Roger doesn't seemingly care. He is like 1,000 miles an hour full go. I was like, hey, we might have to like modify some of your reps. And he was like, I don't want any of that, So it's really cool to watch a kid that went through what he went through and come out and is like running around like nothing happened. And he's grown a lot. He's put on a bunch of weight. He's 245 plus at the moment and doing really well. He's, there's always some movement pattern things that you got to clean up, like post injury like that. And so some of that stuff is, but the same player that we saw play as a freshman, I think it's almost like it almost never happened, other than he's got a knee brace on right now, and how long he'll wear that, I'm not sure. Like if it was up to Roger, he'd never wear it again, but we got to protect him from themselves at times. So he's doing great, still making some plays, making the same plays that we saw him make as a freshman, continuing to grow. The added weight has really, really helped him, I think, especially down in the C area with guys like Mateo and Tatum and those giants that they have over there.
AJ was a talented player in high school, dealt with some injuries when he got here because of high school football. Just where's his development at, and how you feel like he's going to help you guys this season?
AJ has come a long way. I think that, high school football is different than college football for a lot of reasons. And sometimes that's really hard to grasp. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you guys deal with it, like small market media versus like you guys get into a big market. And it's like, oh, this is different. This is harder. And I thought he grew a lot. It was hard the first time because, North Medford High School is not the same as, Oregon. And he's put on, like Raj, he's put on a bunch of weight. I think he's probably just shy of 250 at the moment, which is by far the heaviest he's ever been. And the great thing, AJ is super smart. He is got to be the smartest kid in that room. If that kid wanted to be a rocket scientist, he could do it. And very so having him out there, he's always knowledgeable, always knows what to do. And I think his body is still growing into like the weight and the strength that he's put on right now. And I think he's not afraid. He's physical. And I think he's having fun again playing football, which has been really cool to see. I've been really, really excited about to see like this big smile on his face and his growth and development. He had, we chart blocks of the day and things like that in our room. That's a point of pride and emphasis in there. And he had one the other day that was, right out of the textbook. You couldn't ask him to do it better. So he's continuing to grow. And as he continues to grow, he's never going to be 6'7" or anything like that. But he's a physical, aggressive player, smart player, and a very, very dependable player. So I'm really excited about where he's at and where he continues to grow. Obviously, like he takes a lot of pride in this school. He grew up sleeping under an Oregon, comforter on his bed, and this school means a whole lot to him. So, there's very few people in the world that would give more to this school than AJ Pugliano.
Coach, last week we heard that, week 1 was sort of focused on the installation during fall camp. Now that we're starting week 2, are we starting to get a better understanding of some of the strengths and what types of personnel gives you those best opportunities, or are we still in that installation process? What's your vision of this team so far?
I think that, probably a little bit of both, to answer that question. I think it's always, I guess that's like kind of the art of the whole thing, right? And especially from Will's seat, and Will does as good a job as anybody in the country. Who's got to touch the ball for us, in on top, like against, what personnels can we put on the field, against what personnels are they going to put on the field, right? And you can create all kinds of schematic answers. But I think that if you go watch us throughout the past few seasons, I don't know that we ever really like stop installing. Like there's always got to be new little wrinkles and things like that going in, right? Because you can get stale really quickly and predictable. Yeah, we've installed, I would say, probably 80% of our offense, 85%, somewhere in that neighborhood. There's always going to be some new little nuanced things that we want to have and create, and maybe change, an ID structure in a run game, or add, this element to a man beater or something like that we want to create. So those guys got to learn the game, I think, very conceptually versus rote memorization. And I think we do a really good job here. Coach Lanning forces everybody to teach it that way that we can continuously progress, and you can put guys in different spots to do that. So I feel like we're pretty close to figuring out, who really needs to play for us, like what that roster is going to look like, and who's going to step on the field. But I think it's still pretty, like, in the same note, I also feel like it's kind of wide open. Young guys make pushes. We've got a few, like, especially young wide receivers right now that I think are playing pretty good football. So if you make a predetermined judgment too early, I think that you can put yourself in a bad spot. So I think it's a little bit of both right now. Is there going to be more scheme? Yeah, as much as there was in week one? No. Are we an 11 personnel team with Tez Johnson in the slot this year? Like, no, like Tez Johnson's not here. Are we this team or that team? I think we're a little bit of a lot of things, because I think we're as talented as we've been at all positions. We're just a little bit younger. So it's been fun to watch those guys develop and put them in situations and see who can handle it. So it's actually really exciting right now. And it's been really, really fun to coach. Hard at times, right? Because you don't have the same Terrence Fergusons and, guys out there that are, you can go to sleep at night knowing that guy's, we could throw anything you want at the kid and he's going to know what to do and execute it. But that's part of coaching, and that's what makes it fun. But watching those guys out there, those young guys go out there and compete, man, it's been awesome.
That's Drew Mehringer, Oregon tight end coach and co-offensive coordinator. Really likes what he has in his room, and certainly even just some takeaways from what Coach Mehringer said there. Guys like Terrence Ferguson and Patrick Herbert moving on in their careers opens the door, more opportunity for not just Kenyon Sadiq, but others. Guys that have now worked in this system a couple years, or a new face like Jamari Johnson, transferring into this program in large part due to the relationship that Coach Mehringer and Coach Lanning had with him previously in the recruiting cycle. You maintain that relationship, and in today's world, you never know. That transfer portal could open up. Somebody ends up a Duck, and that's similar to what happened, or maybe exactly what happened, with Jamari Johnson. More on that coming up. Also, preseason All-Americans. Ducks have a few of them. Preseason All-Americans, according to the Sporting News coming out today. Dylan Thieneman, a first-team preseason All-American. And Pancho Lalaulu, Ducks center, and Oregon running back Makai Hughes, another transfer, a new face coming to play for the Ducks. Preseason second-team All-Americans, according to the Sporting News coming out today. When we return, let's chat with Jamari Johnson. Keep it here. It's Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Back to the Country Financial Studios in 60 seconds. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
Man, I love my kids so much. I once sat for 3 hours in the cold rain to watch her soccer team lose by 18 goals.
I love my kids so much, I once used a tube to suck snot out of her stuffed nose at 3 a.m.
You win.
Love your kids? Love them enough to make sure they're in the right car seat. From toddlers to tweens, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat to find the right seat for their age and size. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember. Back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son? I left my heart in Oregon.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, where Duck Insider is brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. We talked about the Junior Duck Club a little while ago. All-Americans, good time of year when you have conversations about subjects like that. And I'm really reminded how cool it is to be in a place like this with roster retention, a lot of reasons to stick around, because when guys like Jamari Johnson head to the podium after practice, and remember, practice, they'll all tell you, fall camp is tough, right? Well, we know that. But then he gets up at the podium and just look at the smile on Jamari Johnson's face as we get to know the new Duck tight end and why he came to Oregon.
All right, walking through your recruitment, because you obviously considered Oregon coming out of high school and then, ended up here after going on the transfer portal. So what was that process like? What kind of led you to Eugene in the end?
It was a cool process, very good experience. I would say what led me here at the end was just the way these guys connected as a team. That's really stuck out to me, and the love that Coach Lanning and Coach Drew put into me during the process. It showed a lot.
From the numbers we get, looks like you're down weight-wise to the lowest you've been in quite a while. Just what went into that? If you have any numbers in terms of body comp changes, we were talking with Coach Mehringer yesterday. Talked about body fat down, muscle up. Okay, but do you have numbers to put to that to say how much you've changed your body since you've been here?
I don't. We had took our DEXA scans and stuff to show us the numbers and stuff, but I don't remember the numbers. But yeah, I lost a couple pounds during camp, but I'll for sure get those back up in the next couple days.
How do you see yourself fitting into the system and sort of complementing Kenyon?
Kenyon he's a dude. I'm not gonna lie, he's a dude. But hopefully, I just keep my head down, keep grinding. Hopefully, we'll get the split time and show everybody how good both of us are.
Yeah, you just mentioned that Kenyon's a dude. What have you learned from him, and what have you seen from him in your months here?
A lot. The playbook. He's helped me tremendously with the playbook. And out on the field, he just makes plays. Every time I get done making a play or something on my end, I look over there. Kenyon's doing the same thing. So it's a good duo.
A lot of Oregon fans have seen your film. They know what you can do on the field. I'm just curious, what are they getting for you as a person, not as a player?
As a person, they're going to get a lot of excitement and energy. And I feel like I'm a kind guy, but I could be unkind sometimes on the field. You know how that go. But, yeah.
Coach Lanning said that after today's practice that the offense kind of won the day. And he said not necessarily, on many, long, explosive passes, but more on some explosive runs. Just how does the success of the offense, whether it's a run or a pass, like how does the versatility of this offense with so many young players kind of help open other parts of the offense up for you guys to run a versatile offense, I would say?
I would say we do have a lot of young guys on the offense, but I feel like all of those young guys and some vets too is really how I don't know how to explain it, but like I would say our players are like how we versatile the offense. I'm not saying that right, but our players are like my bad.
No, my question was not worded very good either.
No,
But how
I
does
understand
the
it though.
success of one group help another group on the offense?
It just works hand in hand. Like the O-line and the tight ends block and the running back get it done. O-line, it really starts with the O-line. O-line said pass sets really good. Quarterback gets the ball out, touchdown. So it works hand in hand, and everybody is good on our offense. So that's really how our offense is versatile.
What roles have you been spending most of your time in specifically at practice? Is it primarily at H and A, Jamari, or is it working a little bit at Y? And how much by past film of past tight ends here did they show you even in recruitment of kind of the role that you would be serving here?
I'm working around everything, mostly playing Y though. And coach showed me really everybody at every position. I don't know if he's going to put me at A, H, Y, and it doesn't matter. But he showed me everything, and we have a really good offense.
How has your chemistry been developing with the main two quarterbacks? And can you give us a little bit of scouting report on how they're looking so far?
Both of them are competing their tails off right now, and everything is just looking pretty good. Sometimes we'll have an off day, but that's everybody. Me with them, we're building our connection. We're working our way up. I can't really say too much about that, but working our way up, connecting.
Coach Lanning said that offense got the better things today, based on what he could see. Just was curious if you had a particular part in that by way of today's practice and what you saw from the offense today.
Oh, the offense, man, we were on it today. Everybody was just balling. Everything just connected. And at the end, we had a little competition between the offense and the defense, and the offense won. So we felt pretty good about that.
We are into the part of camp now where, offense, defense, they keep score. Who wins each day, and certainly the scrimmages, I think they do add a little bit to that. Ducks will scrimmage coming up on Saturday. That's Jamari Johnson. Just a smile on his face. You can hear it in his voice. He's just happy to be here. And again, it comes back to you form a relationship in the recruiting process. Maybe it doesn't work out. Student-athlete goes somewhere else. It's a better opportunity for him somewhere else. Then transfer portal, and they end up here anyway. That's what happened with Jamari Johnson. We continue talking secondary when we come back. Ify Obidu. We'll hear from a guy who, hey, he might start this year. We'll see. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hear that? The crowd's going wild for all the end of summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. Going now until September 2nd. Woo-hoo!
See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Toyota, let's go places.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. So good to see you real.
Duck Insider continues here, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Tomorrow, Ryan Milano returns. He has been traveling a lot this year. Maybe Ryan will tell you a little bit about it on the show tomorrow. And we've got a ton of interviews that we've still been rolling through here, getting ready for football season, and a green and yellow scrimmage for Oregon volleyball coming up on Friday at Matthew Knight Arena. Exhibition for Oregon soccer against Idaho coming up at Pape Field on Friday at noon. Doubleheader game day on Friday. Soccer at noon, volleyball exhibition coming up at 6 o'clock. Fun times as we ramp up toward the start of those seasons as well as Oregon football season. Ify Obidu is a guy who, as Dan Lanning put it just a little while ago, if you were listening on the show, has all the traits. And he may very well be a starter this year. I don't know if it matters who starts, who's in there at any given time, I think tends to be what matters most. Like in basketball, do you want to be in the starting 5 or do you want to be in the crunch time 5? You want to be in the lineup that's in there when you need to get a win at the end of a game? I think that's what you want, you know. I remember Dana Altman one time said that, you know, there's this thought that you care about starting because you get to jump around and dance and there's an intro video and, you know, high five everybody as part of the starting routine, but he really, like, are you in there when the Ducks need a bucket or need a stop at the end of a game? I think football's similar. How many meaningful snaps are you playing? Every snap is meaningful. How many big opportunity snaps are you playing? The point I'm making is that Ify Obidu is one of many guys in the secondary competing to be in during those critical snaps. Ify Obidu talking with the media yesterday.
Ify, what do you think the biggest growth has been for you from year 1 to year 2?
Biggest growth, I would say just definitely the playbook, learn the playbook, learn all the plays, the checks, the formations, the different motions and stuff like that, getting to know the teams like route concepts and route recognition. I would say that for sure.
What was last year like to experience for you, where I'm sure you definitely wanted to play at times, and what was sitting out like and having experienced that when I'm sure you, as a competitor, you wanted to be out there every week?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a good learning, like growth, like improvement for me. You know, just sitting behind those guys, Nico Reed, Jabbar Muhammad, Dante Manning, you know, guys like that. So just NFL guys, so, you know, just learning from them. It was a big growing moment for me last year, just sitting behind them, soaking up all the knowledge, seeing what they was doing at practice, seeing how they was going about their business, and just soaking up all the information.
Have you had a lot of interactions on the field with Jamari Johnson? And if so, what are your impressions of him as a player?
Oh, Jamari Johnson, yeah, I think he's gonna be real nice for us this year. He's big guy, athletic, makes great catches, like good, like big red zone target too, great blocker too. So I think he's gonna be a real great player for us, for sure.
Not often that you enter your redshirt freshman year and the competition for a starting spot is wide open. What's kind of been the vibe for you and, you know, the other guys in the room this offseason as you kind of jockey for position?
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great competition. You know, just those guys in that room, all those guys, they're all can, you know, we all can make plays. They're all great NFL players. Like in Siona, you got Sione Lale, you got Jaleel Florence, Theron Johnson. Even the freshman guys, we got Brandon Finney, Naeem Alford, you know, Dorian Brew, all those guys. Like, we're all like elite guys. So, you know, the competition is very high. You know, you got to bring it every day. You're gonna get left behind. So, you know, it's great. It's great being with those guys for sure.
Building off of that, what has the competition been like this fall camp, maybe this year for you compared to last year with so many position groups that have starting spots available with how many guys moved on to the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great. You know, just the energy is high. You know, you got to bring high energy. You know, just you got to be on point. You got to be on point at practice. You know that we're going against great receivers every day. They're giving us great looks. So you know, we just competing every day, just 1% better. You know, it's like everybody's hungry. You know, so it's just dogfight. That's it. I'll say.
From my understanding, back at St. Francis, you'd hear a lot of "have fun."
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if that message takes a little bit of a different meaning for you after last year and that experience of not playing, and then entering this year where you are competing to be a starter and the opportunity you have in front of you. If having fun in this game is a different message now than it was maybe as a senior in high school.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it's definitely different levels. You know, high school to college, definitely different levels. But I would say just it's still the same game you've been playing since I was young. So just bringing that same energy, having fun, like just coming out and just having fun. You always want football to be fun. So just bringing that every day. Just never let myself think it's just business, or if, you're not gonna enjoy. You're gonna hate it.
Been your overall sense of the receiver room this year through spring and now through fall camp?
Oh yeah, the receiver room. Yeah, we got some real explosive guys on that receiver room. Real explosive guys. Gonna be our quarterbacks, great too. Receivers, yeah, I think those guys, they're gonna emerge. It's gonna be a surprise. Everybody gonna be, we got some guys for sure.
What are some of the things that over this last year, Ify, that you've learned either specifically from Coach Hamp, Coach Obidu, that were just different at this level? What are some of the top takeaways that you have from them so far here?
I would say just, Coach Hamp and Obidu, they're very, they want you to be the best. Like, they're gonna be on you every day. So I would say that there's always room for improvement. Like, you can never get comfortable. Like, no matter what you did in the past, no matter who you is, because they tell us about the NFL. NFL, like, you guys can be here the next day and be gone the next day. Like, you're here one day, gone the next day. So it's like you gotta be on your stuff every day, no matter how you feeling, no matter what's going on in your life. You gotta bring it every day.
I've observed that myself, being around guys like Coach Obidu and Coach Hampton. That was Ify Obidu talking with the media yesterday after practice. I say it again, I think there's great competition, but great talent in the secondary. To that point, when we return, Kingston Lopa. You talk about length in the secondary. Kingston Lopa's got length. Hear from him next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider from the Country Financial Studios after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas.
Congratulations on getting your diploma.
You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, No, it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Final segment of Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union today in the Country Financial Studio. Kingston Lopa, part of our preview gauntlet of interviews here over the next couple weeks. Kingston Lopa giving us some details on the offseason, his thoughts heading into camp, and what to expect from a guy who got into, you talk about meaningful snaps, he got in on some meaningful snaps toward the end of last season. Kingston Lopa.
All right, Kingston. Well, you were, one of the few true freshmen that got some time last year in that Penn State game. Obviously, just speak a little bit about kind of how valuable that was to you, and maybe confidence, and just seeing that action.
It felt good because I felt like I just started progressing as the season started going. I just started growing more in the playbook and all that, and I felt like just taking it every day, taking it day by day. I felt like the coaches just trusted me after seeing just practicing hard.
What did you try to improve on the most this offseason?
Really just locking down on the plays. That was really it, because that's what was going to help me play faster and just help my confidence, just knowing what to do. Last year, I kind of, beginning was a little slow start with it, but that's why I started progressing as the season started going.
Pretty much a brand new starting five in the secondary this year. Take us in that room. What's the energy like? What's the mentality like with you and your guys?
It's funny. It's pretty funny, and it's fun playing with them because I feel like we all literally are all competing because, we don't know who's going to play, but I feel like everybody's just not worried about the next man. They just worried about themselves and just trying to get better and just get on the field like the rest of us. So, and we got a lot of young guys too, so that really makes it competitive.
Some really talented young guys coming in, right? Whether it's Naeem, Trey, Brandon, just what have you seen from some of those guys since they've gotten here?
Man, they just ready to work, like literally just ready to work. Like them guys that want to play right now, and I can just see every day the way they come to practice and just even the little things outside of football. Yeah.
You got some veteran transfers as well. What if they brought to the room? And, how do they help bring the young guys along?
They bring the young guys along pretty good. Like Dylan, he's always just critiquing everybody. Just trying to make sure we all on the same level. Just playing fast, just wants to win. So and then we got Kennedy and Theron, them two really good guys that, just always talking to players on the side, like not even about football, just trying to get to know everyone and see how everyone plays.
There aren't a lot of freshmen who play legit snaps in a Big Ten title game. What was that kind of experience like for you coming along at the end of last year? What are you looking to translate to your sophomore year?
It was crazy. Just coming where I come from, being in a game like that is like, it was a blessing and it was a dream. So it's like for me to get that opportunity, I had to give everything I had. So and I got my confidence just from practicing before. So I was a little nervous, but my confidence came from me practicing every day and just knowing what I was supposed to do.
Did you know that opportunity was coming?
I did. The coach telling me. I started running with the ones and like a certain package they had for me. So that's when I knew I was going to play. And they was telling me the whole week like who I was going to guard, and I didn't even know much of him, but then I started watching him. I was like, oh, yeah, I gotta get ready. So I was ready. It was fun.
What was it like, kind of taking on that challenge and having that weight of responsibility?
It was great, just seeing what I could do, for real, and going up against Tyler Warren. It was pretty crazy, but it was a good experience. It was helped me grow and become a better player just by going against a guy like that and just having the confidence coming up to the game.
In your eyes, Kingston, a little bit of a two-parter here. What makes a great safety, and what do you feel like your game kind of brings to the table?
What makes a great safety is just making sure everybody's on the same board so we can all play fast and just communicating. That's really the big one. Just making sure we all on the same page. And I feel like I'm starting to bring that more this year. Just making sure, especially we got young people coming in. I'm just trying to make sure that they didn't have to go through what I was going through last year. Just helping them play fast. So yeah.
See the 916 tat. What's your favorite spot to eat at in SAG?
Huh?
What's your favorite spot to eat at in SAG?
I'm a Mexican dude. I like Jim Boy's. Some regular, but I just like Jim Boy's. Yeah, Jim Boy's tacos. I really don't know how to explain it. I really don't know how to explain that. It's like a rotation with like green and yellow, so it's really no ones, twos yet, just green and yellow as of now.
Are you cross-training at all, like the safety positions, or have you been locked in on one?
I've been playing both, but sometimes when I get in with Dylan, I play more boundary. So yeah.
You obviously, fall camp officially begins on Wednesday. Just what's got you most excited for day one, and what are you kind of hoping to see? What are you hoping to do? And just what do you feel like that feeling's gonna be like for you?
Man, I'm just ready to go in this fall camp, just knowing like what to do now, and just I just can't wait to run around, hit people, and you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's really it. I can't wait though. It's gonna be tough though, but it's a blessing though.
Yeah. Number 2's I'm sure a pretty coveted number. How'd that one come together? How'd you land that?
I really don't know. Just showing up every day, I guess. Yeah, just working. Really the big one. Yeah.
What's been your early takeaways on the new college football video game out? Anyone giving you good matchups?
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really been playing big video games, but some of my cousins and family will send me stuff and make jokes about it and stuff. Like, oh, you suck, or stuff like that. But it just be funny. So,
I know you talked about how excited you are just to kind of put on the bets and hit people, but do you have any goals or anything you want to achieve before the NFL camp? Like, what are you going to be striving for week after week that you want to make sure you're achieving, make sure you're ready for week 1 of the season?
I would just say making sure my mind right in the right place. Cause going through fall camp, just knowing it's gonna be tough, and I feel like that's gonna translate to the season. So, you know what I'm saying? Just coming to work for real.
Kingston Lopa talking with the media. What makes a good safety? I think he has all the traits that makes a good safety. That experience at the end of the year, big-time game, big-time snaps, really valuable. And now I think a little bit more confidence in fall camp. I saw that a little bit in the spring, just through my eyes, and even just sitting there talking with the media, cameras and microphones and lights surrounding you, he just seems very poised, doesn't he? Kingston Lopa meeting with the media there. Boy, we are in week 2. There's already that competition feeling. Get to see the Ducks in action on the soccer pitch at noon on Friday and at Matthew Knight Arena at 6 o'clock. Oregon soccer, Oregon volleyball coming up on Friday. Meet and greet, by the way, post-match for Oregon volleyball. See you tomorrow.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn